One day, Turkey was showing off its missile defense system to people, saying that its defense system was the most advanced S-400 in the Russian system. No air force could break it. Then it showed off its fighter jet to people, saying that its fighter jet was the most advanced F-35 in the United States. No defense system could resist it. So people asked, if you bought the Russian S-400, would the United States give you the F-35? Everyone laughed. The strongest Russian fleet and the strongest U.S. fleet could not stand against Turkey at the same time. Everyone heard it. This is just a joke, but it truly reflects the current situation of Turkey. In fact, there are still many countries in the world that have both U.S. and Russian weapons at the same time, especially in Eastern Europe. But it is possible that the most advanced missile defense system, S-400, and the most advanced fighter jet, F-35 in the United States, are currently only in Turkey. In 2017, Turkey and Russia signed a deal to buy a complete S-400 missile defense system from Russia at a price of $2.5 billion and received the first batch of 10 missiles in July 2019. This series of actions is completely unacceptable. This is obviously a blatant violation of NATO's collective defense principle. This immediately aroused the dissatisfaction of the U.S. government and excluded Turkey from the F-35 project. It should be noted that the United States and Turkey previously cooperated in the joint development of the F-35 project. There are 8 F-35 fighters in Turkey and their main parts suppliers. Among them, the Turkish Aerospace Industry Company is one of the suppliers of the F-35 central fuselage. Originally, Turkey had purchased 100 F-35s and had signed 30 F-35As. After Turkey decided to purchase the S-400, the 4 already produced F-35s were frozen in the U.S., and the $1.4 billion purchase was also detained by the U.S. Turkey has not obtained any F-35 fighter jets so far. So many people don't understand, is the S-400 really so good that Turkey would rather give up the F-35 and insist on purchasing it? Just when people are confused, things have turned upside down again. After years of repeated delays, Turkey recently said that the S-400 system in this country has not been officially used. In order to get the U.S. to restore the Turkish F-35 supply, Turkey is willing to no longer equip the S-400 air defense system and hand it over to Europe. So what kind of considerations made Turkey make this decision? In the face of 2 equally advanced weapon systems, why did Turkey make such a decision? Let's start with the technical characteristics of the S-400 and F-35 systems. Let's see what they mean to Turkey. Russia's S-400 Kaikon-class anti-aircraft missile is called SA-21 and is the 3rd-generation ground-to-air missile system that is used to respond to air strikes from ultra-low altitude to high altitude and close range to ultra-long range. The missile system uses 4 special missiles, including ultra-long-range 40N6 missiles, for targets within a range of 400 kilometers, long-range 48N6E3 missiles for targets within a range of 250 kilometers, and close-range 9M96E missiles for targets within a range of 300 kilometers. The missile's speed is categorized into 3 distinct levels, each representing an increase in velocity and range capabilities, from 11.3 miles to 5.9 miles to 3.3 and 2.6 miles. After the missile is launched at a height of 30 meters, the solid fuel engine starts to ignite. At the beginning and middle stages of flight, it uses inertia guidance with radioactivity correction to automatically guide the missile when it intercepts the target. At the end of the flight, the missile will follow the instructions of the ground command center and choose the flight altitude, search, track, and attack the target. If the first missile does not hit the target, the system can immediately launch a follow-up missile against all kinds of stealth weapons. The S-400 has a special countermeasure. Its radar function is quite powerful, especially enhancing the ability to counter interference. The S-400's basic tactical thinking is to modularize and synthesize multiple missile systems and combat units, and to form a battlefield unit with enhanced anti-aircraft radar and other reconnaissance electronic warfare equipment. Each battlefield unit can independently complete tasks such as searching, tracking targets, anti-electronic interference, and directing missiles. and each battlefield unit can direct multiple missiles and attack multiple targets. Compared with other similar systems, the combat performance in a strong electronic interference environment is more prominent. If the battlefield unit is connected to the guided radar station behind the data chain, it can greatly extend the coverage area of firepower. So the S-400 is not a missile. We can call it a missile combination system. Because it has a combined design feature, the S-400 system can directly integrate and manage the existing S-300 series. It is easy to complete integrated combat with the S-400 system. In normal conditions, its radar maximum detection distance is 600 kilometers, tracking 300 targets at the same time and directing 72 of them and attacking 36 of them. The maximum height of the original S-400 target is 30,000 meters, and the minimum height is 10 meters. In addition to the typical anti-aircraft warplanes, can also intercept the maximum speed, which is the supersonic flight target of 14 megahertz. The S-400 can be launched in 5 to 10 minutes and can enter the combat readiness state in 3 minutes. After understanding the ability of the S-400, we can understand why Turkey had to buy this system in the face of opposition from the internal countries of North Korea. Turkey, which is located in a four-war zone, has a strong airstrike capability, and Turkey does not have a large territory. If it does not have an effective domestic air defense system, in the future war, Turkey will be helpless against the sudden strike from the air. With the S-400's strong anti-missile and air defense capabilities, it can effectively defend from all directions. Ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, fighter jets, drones, and all kinds of aerial reconnaissance. It seems that Turkey has a very urgent need to deploy the S-400 anti-missile system that can track hundreds of targets at the same time. However, Turkey still can't give up its F-35 plan, which was launched in the United States many years later. The S-400 has finally become a cowherd. Why is the F-35 so important to Turkey? One thing may surprise you. Turkey's Air Force is the third largest air force in the North Atlantic, only ranked after the United States and the United Kingdom, and even higher than France and Germany. At present, Turkey's Air Force has 180 F-16Cs and 57 F-16Ds. In addition, there are 42 F-4E fighters. If the F-35 is in place in time, you can see that the U.S.-made single-engine fighter has been in use in Turkey for 3 generations. It is not difficult to see that Turkey has always been a loyal user of U.S.-made fighter jets, which also allows it to maintain a certain air superiority. But if it can't get the F-35 fighter, the situation will change completely. The neighboring countries, such as Israel and Greece, have equipped the F-35, and other countries are actively strengthening the Air Force. In the long run, Turkey's air superiority will gradually disappear, and it is still a question whether the existing Air Force and S-400 can cope with all the circumstances. The F-35 Lightning II is the most advanced 5th-generation fighter in the world. Viewers must have heard of it and are familiar with its capabilities and parameters. The F-35, a versatile multi-role fighter designed and manufactured by Roma, represents the pinnacle of 5th-generation fighter technology. It is the 5th-generation fighter. If it is the strongest fighter in the world today, it is not too much. If the 100 F-35s ordered can be delivered on time, Turkey's Air Force will have an advantage in the Middle East. The F-35, as the 5th-generation fighter, its 0.5 square meter radar beam and stealth capabilities make it the most powerful fighter in the Middle East, because most of the neighboring countries are equipped with the 3rd and 4th generation fighters. The 5th generation fighter has a compressive advantage over the 4th generation fighter. This has already been verified in all aspects. As a defensive F-35 fighter, the F-35 has a 15-to-1 kill ratio. The F-35 is not only powerful and comprehensive in air combat, but also a powerful enhancement of the entire air combat system. The F-35 adopts a variety of advanced pre-sight detection sensors, including a pre-sight radar and a distribution system. This system gives F-35 pilots superior situational awareness, enabling early detection and response to threats well beyond visual range. It has a strong ability to detect targets and sense the situation. The F-35 also applies a lot of advanced data chain technology to enable it to share information and coordinate tasks. It can use sensitive data chain technology to open up information collection, command control, and firepower strike, and establish efficient, stable, and reliable cooperative attack capabilities. In theory, the S-400 and F-35 are two different systems. For Turkey, the best result is, of course, like the original plan, to use both left and right. However, the reality is always too cruel. You can only choose one of the strongest shields and sharpest blades. In the end, Turkey gave up the S-400 and chose the F-35. So what forced Turkey to give up the S-400 system? First of all, the U.S. was concerned. If the two systems of the S-400 and F-35 are allowed to coexist in Turkey, the two systems will communicate with each other. In order to achieve this, the two systems must work together. At this time, the S-400 system is likely to obtain various communication data and technical information of the F-35. Moreover, the tactical information of Turkey and even NATO will be obtained by Russia from the back door. With such a huge security risk, the U.S. and NATO cannot be ignored. In addition, Turkey, as a NATO member state, bought Russian military equipment. This is a challenge to NATO's internal unity and consistency. A NATO member state is leaning towards Russia in geopolitics and will weaken NATO's overall strategic position. In terms of political and strategic influence, the U.S. will never allow this to happen. In addition to the pressure from the U.S. in terms of the actual performance of the two weapons, the F-35 is obviously a more reliable choice. In theory, or from the data released by Russia, it is not exaggerated to say that the S-400 is the most powerful missile defense system in the world today. But from the actual performance, the S-400 did not show any significant performance and even exposed a lot of problems. In the past 2 years, some news has been released on the Russian military battlefield. The Russian military has claimed that since April 2023, at least 10 sets of S-300 and S-400 systems have been destroyed. Originally, it could only make people half believing and half doubting. But in May this year, the Russian military deployed the S-400 in Donetsk. After 6 interceptor missiles were launched in a row, it was still destroyed by the U.S.-made land-based tactical missile system of the U.S. military. And this was completely recorded by the U.S. drone. As a missile defense system, not only did it not protect other military facilities, but even itself was destroyed by enemy missiles. This is really a bit of an understatement, and from the various strategies of the U.S. military, the S-400 seems to have only one weakness. That is, it is only good at dealing with larger targets, and it is useless for small-size flying targets with large numbers. There is also a saying that this type of air defense system has a limitation. It is difficult for them to detect low-level targets from a long distance. In other words, the effect of dealing with cruise missiles is not as good as dealing with ballistic missiles. After seeing its actual performance, people not only began to doubt whether the S-400 was as powerful as Russia boasted, and since the birth of the F-35, it has been perfect in many actual battles. In May 2018, the Israeli Air Force used the F-35 to attack more than 20 targets in Iran. The Syrian air defense system fired more than 100 anti-aircraft missiles, but none of them hit the F-35. In September 2018, a U.S. F-35B hit a Taliban target in Kandahar, Afghanistan. In April 2019, 2 F-35B fighters launched by the U.S. destroyed the weapons storage point of the ISIS organization. In June of the same year, a British F-35B took part in the Lightning Combat Operation and attacked the IS organization in Iraq and Syria. In September 2021, the UK launched the F-35 again and hit the remaining IS forces in Iraq. So far, all the combat operations participated by the F-35 have been successful, and each time they have been successful. Another point is also very important. The F-35 is the world's most advanced fighter. At present, there is no product on the market that can replace it. The export of Russian Su-57 fighters is still unknown. Even if it can be purchased, its combat effectiveness has not been tested in actual combat. Whether it is worth purchasing still needs to be observed. Turkey is a partner of the F-35 project and knows all the technical details of it. This country has been using U.S.-made fighters for a long time, and the configuration system is mature. From all aspects, if you want to equip a fifth-generation aircraft, The F-35 is the only choice for Turkey. On the other hand, the S-400 is said to be the most advanced defense system, but the threshold for design and manufacturing is not too high. There are many systems that can be replaced on the market. For example, the well-known Patriot anti-missile system is enough to replace the S-400. In addition, Turkey is also developing its own powerful multi-layer air defense system. In this way, from the technical level, geopolitics, combat performance, and replaceability, choosing the F-35 and giving up the S-400 is Turkey's wisest choice. It seems that the story has come to an end, but I am afraid that the subsequent impact is far from that. Even if only from a military point of view, Turkey's transfer of the S-400 system to Europe as a whole may cause many unexpected consequences. Just like the United States was worried that the technical data of the F-35 might be controlled by Russia, if Turkey transfers the entire S-400 to Europe, NATO will fully master its technical information. After the secret of the S-400 is mastered by NATO, Russia's important military targets will be directly hit by NATO aircraft and various missiles. Will this directly affect the future Russian-Ukrainian war? How will NATO and Russia deal with this situation? Let's wait and see. Like and subscribe my channel. See you next time.